What's going on YouTube? It's Coffee, back talking NFL, and there's been no lack of drama all season long in the NFL. The playoffs haven't let up either. I mean, the way a lot of individuals are thinking, I know you guys see all the theories going on in the blogosphere. These NFL script writers have really been, next level with their creative writers' rooms meeting. And, I don't know, maybe they got the WWE guys working with them, because WWE's been killing it lately as well. But all jokes aside, in the AFC Championship, the way that game ended, of course, some of the calls being a bit controversial, Lamar Jackson just not being able to be the Lamar Jackson that everyone knows. And, we thought it was going to be Lamar and Mahomes going head-to-head, out-dueling each other, but Lamar just really couldn't do what he typically does. It was a real drama-filled game, but I didn't peep prior to the game. Everyone let me know if you saw this. This is news to me. I really wasn't aware of this, and I need to know everyone's thoughts on this. People who played football, so crazy. And the fans, just people really in the know that have been there on a football field and know the etiquette and everything. I'm just a fan. I love the game. That's what's so crazy to me, is there seems to be such a debate on this. And if you don't know what we're talking about just Tucker, the kicker for the Ravens. If you didn't see, and you see in this footage now, Kelce apparently told him, hey, you got to get up out of here. As you see him stretching out, he was in the other end of the field in Chiefs territory where they were warming up, and I guess he just kept going about his business. Kelce's like, hey, Mahomes has got to warm up. He didn't budge, and you see he tossed his helmet in his gear. And I just don't understand how, with individuals that all know about the game, how there's such a debate about this. Is this a routine thing? Are kickers doing this all the time? I see some people saying, yeah, kickers do this every game. They want to see what the wind's like on both sides. Then you got people who cover the sport of football saying kickers have been doing this for years intentionally to irritate the other team. I mean, which one is it? Or is it a little bit of both? I just don't understand how the debate can be so split. And he spoke about it himself and said, I find it kind of silly that we're even having to address it or talk about something that happened before the game that I really don't see as a big deal. I think you just see the whole interaction, and then you see us at the coin toss. We're all dapping each other up, and then we just get on with the football game. But for those that don't know, the way it works is each team's kicker goes to the other team's designated warm-up area on the field. And for me, it's usually about 90 minutes before kickoff. I've been doing the exact same thing for 12 years. Never really had a problem with anybody. That's just kind of the way we've always done it, and the way kickers around the league have always done it. So see, it's pretty cut, plain and simple with Tucker. He says he always done it. All the kickers around the league do it. I mean, is it, for those, again, that know, how can this be such a split thing if it's so routine? Is it the kickers specifically go into the opposing team's territory, or do they go to both sides to get a feel for the wind going each way? I mean, that would make a lot of sense. And during a game, you'll always hear, in a clutch situation or late in the game trying to tie the game up, say such and such is going to kick. You'll hear the broadcaster say, oh, he hit one from 50. He hit one almost from 60 going this way, but he had trouble with the wind, and now it's a bit windier, and you see the wind is, going a little bit this way, and it wasn't going that way earlier. Things like that. Oh, now he's kicking into the wind. I mean, I don't know, but anyone that does know the etiquette, jump in the comments with it. But Kelce threw his ish, man. Kelce, I guess, is just on some other ish, as he's trying to get this ring and put a bow on this, as we were talking about the script writer storylines, right? This whole Super Kelce Brothers Taylor Swift show, storyline, he's got to put the bow on it properly. Man, and you talk about drama. There has been nonstop Stefon Diggs, Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen drama from the end of last season all the way through the season, all the way to where we are now. And I never really paid much mind to it.
But, after the game, and this is an article on The Athletic from Matthew Fairburn about Diggs in the locker room. Diggs has gotten away with just kind of, the Marshawn Lynch routine of not talking to reporters. And the other receivers talked, he didn't. And you're supposed to be available after every game. You're supposed to be available during the week. And I think, there's a dance there where the media that covers a team will look the other way because they don't want to have a bigger problem with the organization by complaining about one player, and it's not going to make it better. It just makes it confrontational, and it just makes it awkward for everyone when they show up for work. But still, this routine, and we love Stefon Diggs. It's one of the favorite interviews when we're at Super Bowl week, and I don't know if he's even going to show up this year after everything that's gone on this season, but the routine of, sulking, and it doesn't work when you're not playing great. It doesn't work when, it just... that's been the one concern I've always had. And I understand he's highly competitive, but so is everybody else. Guys are highly competitive. Guys lose games. Guys still talk to reporters. And I'm just really competitive and I'm upset because I'm competitive thing, that wears thin after a while. Because, again, they're all competitive. And you see him standing there meeting the media after a devastating moment. Jordan Love, after committing the mortal sin, as he called it, of throwing the ball across his body. He didn't avoid reporters. He didn't say no when reporter approaches him in the locker room and asks if he'll talk, when he has a mandatory obligation under the NFL rules to talk. So as much as we love Stefon Diggs, I feel like somebody at some point needs to tell him, man, look, you got to do what everybody else is doing. It's one thing to have a separate set of rules when you are one of the best receivers in the NFL. As you begin to fade down the stack, you're not going to get the benefit of a second set of rules anymore, Chris.
Yeah, exactly right. That's the way it is in the NFL. And, the pecking order, the hierarchy of the locker room, whatever. Yeah, you're a superstar. You can do special things that go above and beyond the coaching of the football team. You get away with more than everybody else on the football team. And, he's not that guy anymore, but he's still getting away with, I'm sure, plenty because of his value there. We know he's damn good still. He is. But, yeah, I think, the attitude, the not talking to the media, all of that, some of the things that happened over, before last year, leaving the building during OTAs or minicamp, it's fair to question all of this stuff. It certainly is. And also, yeah, there's times where you just go, I don't understand, the discontent anyways, when, you still had 107 receptions this year. You were still targeted almost as much as anybody in football. And I think that's where we all look at it and kind of just go, wait, what is there to be so unhappy about or annoyed with so much of the time?
The other thing, too, you mentioned how he doesn't fit the Joe Brady offense. What did we hear earlier this week from Josh Allen, quarterback of the Bills? He wants Joe Brady to be back as the offensive coordinator.
Right.
So there's a,
it's a little the Jalen Hurts thing. I want to go hey, we don't need buddies being your coach here. Saying the same.
And I really believe that Diggs wants to be here, but I am starting to question if he will be here next year. Now, I'm not really speaking about this as far as him being around or not when, we're talking about what is being referenced about him not fulfilling his mandatory obligation, taking the Marshawn Lynch route, not addressing the media, not being available when he's supposed to be. But I do want to point out that he also wasn't there after the win against Pittsburgh neither. It's not like the Bills just lost and he didn't do that interview. He didn't do the Pittsburgh interview either when they won. I really don't know how that works if you get fined. I mean, I guess you do, right? Because we're talking about the Marshawn Lynch route. Remember, I'm just here so I don't get fined, and he really didn't want to participate in the interview at all. So I guess Diggs will definitely get some fines, but nonetheless, whatever you think has been going on with Diggs, if he's unhappy, if he's not, it was clear. They talk about him being a competitor, and that argument gets old. Everyone gets sick of hearing it, especially when you're not being one of the top tier receivers in the league. And I mean, Diggs still broke the 1,000-yard mark, but we can all agree, the Allens-Diggs connection definitely was there at times. But I mean, that one year when Diggs I think he was the receiving leader. I believe that was the year we lost in the conference championship game to the Chiefs. I mean, Diggs, Allen was on fire. He was all over the place. He was next level. But I don't know. They couldn't connect like we wanted them to, and like we know they could in the key situations, just like the way the season ended last year in Cincinnati in the playoffs. That's basically how it went down this year when it comes to Diggs. 21 yards receiving, basically a non-factor. Not what you want out of Diggs, your number one receiver. And you see Brandon Beane is still saying Diggs is a solid number one receiver. But when it comes to the question if he's going to be here or not, when I'm saying I get a bit worried, and again, everyone share your thoughts with me, as always, Bills Mafia and everyone else, and everyone make sure to like the video and subscribe and all that. Music, news, sports, and more is what we cover over here. There's been all this talks about the Bills and cap room, and I don't know, like this I don't think is any confirmed reports about the Bills wanting Diggs to take a pay cut. I mean, the sports media world is crazy. We see all kinds of mock drafts. I mean, the season ain't even over yet. You got mock drafts, trade proposals, free agency, theories of what's going to happen and stuff like that. And some of it is based on legitimate stuff from sources, and some of it is just theorized, which, stay tuned. One of the last stories we're going to cover kind of speaks on some stuff like that. But, whenever it gets brought up about Diggs and in the cap and stuff like that and everything, I don't know. I really kind of wonder with his drop off in production, which again, still broke the 1,000-yard mark, but just not what you expect or want from Stefon Diggs. And I don't know. Everyone, let me know. Do you think the Bills, being the Stefon Diggs that we've seen in the past, some say he's losing a step, and believe me, I'm not trying to feed into the hype and all this, but do you think that is a realistic situation that the Bills may want to restructure this big extension that he signed? And if that does happen, I got a feeling Diggs won't be cool with that, but we'll have to wait and see. And then in other Bills-related news, this was a bit of a shocker to me, as how many years did Leslie Frazier take off, who was our Bills defensive coordinator, who was a big part of the success and, the climb to success that the Bills have had, even though I know we can't get over that hump and everything. But Frazier stepped away, wanted to take some time off. And it's clear now he's interviewing for jobs, and it's not with the Buffalo Bills. I don't know exactly what happened. This was something that always kind of befuddled me. And, with the Bills, there's all these questions about coaching and, where does the problem lie? Are the Bills getting out coached? Leslie Frazier walking away, as now he's being linked to interviewing with the Dolphins for their defensive coordinator job. Does that spell out to everyone that there was some problems with Frazier and what was going on coaching-wise with the Bills? Tap in with it. But you see they're interviewing a couple in-house guys for that defensive coordinator position, as they let the D coordinator go, as the Dolphins obviously same story, exposed as frauds when it comes down to it. Play real great, regress late in the season, and either not make the playoffs or make the playoffs and get eliminated quickly is what has happened the last 2 years. But this year the hype was extraordinary. Everyone was really buying in, drinking the Kool-Aid, as they were putting up crazy numbers offensively. There was that game where they put up 70 points against the Broncos, even though right after that they got shellacked by my Buffalo Bills. But nonetheless, at times, even though, when it came to the playoffs, they couldn't deliver. They put up points and had a pretty explosive offense that I believe broke some franchise records and even was flirting with possibly breaking some NFL all-time records, if I ain't tripping and I'm not mistaken. But on the defensive side of the ball, number 22 points allowed, number 10 for yards allowed. That ain't too bad. But number 20 for third down efficiency, 28th for red zone efficiency. This is all on defense. And, that's not what you want to see. You got to contribute on both sides of the ball. Being highly ranked offensively and bottom of the barrel defensively, that's not really going to cut it, So they're trying to switch it up. They let the D coordinator go. And like I said, they're interviewing 2 guys in-house that are already a part of the Dolphins coaching staff. But then they're interviewing Frazier, and some people may say, oh, that's just a Rooney Rule interview. But I don't believe so. Frazier is a, serious defensive coordinator candidate anywhere he interviews at any time, if you ask me. And then they're also interviewing Bobby Babbage, who is the Bills linebackers coach. So what does everyone make it at? I'd hate to see Frazier go to the Fins. It could very well happen. Why didn't he come back to Buffalo? What does it all spell out to you? And then like we were talking about free agency and stuff like that already being hyped up without the season all the way being deaded, right? This situation, though, is another one that I could see that could get a bit tricky, and that's Kirk Cousins with the Vikings, as he is now going to be a free agent. Played some amazing football in Minnesota. Jefferson, amazing receiver that, he definitely had great chemistry with, but he got hurt this year. Their season fizzled out, and now he's up for free agency. I know there's probably a lot of teams out there that may offer Cousins a contract, and you see the reports are indicating he's going to want an astronomical contract. Will the Vikings, and Cousins be able to work it out with the contract free agent negotiations? We'll have to wait and see, but I don't know, man. He definitely, I think, could be a hot commodity on the QB market. And then to close it on out, man, the Niners, big win. Everyone, let me know your predictions for the Super Bowl. I'm hoping the Niners, shout out Jay Militant once again, they're the last ones that can stop the evil empire, the Super Kelce Bros, Taylor Swift show, reality show, right? But man, who's been winning money this year? I've had such a stressful year, so unfocused. Those that follow the channel know it's just been insane for Jay Coffee Talk. But I wanted to do my parlays and stuff like that. Nothing crazy, but see if I can win a couple bucks here or there. Everyone, let me know if you've been winning money this year or these playoffs. But man, how about this guy, Sean Perry, professional sports bettor? You see the ticket, MGM. He bet $350,000 on the game and won. And he collects $450 back. Because what did he do? I don't know, some kind of bet that I don't know. I'm not even going to act like I understand all the betting, but that was pretty interesting and wanted to highlight that to y'all. But that's going to do it, man. Lots going on. The drama never stops. Diggs, the Bills, Leslie Frazier, the Fins, what's going on with all that? All this kicker drama, Kelce trying to bully the kicker. What's going on with all that? Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Let's talk in the comments. And I'm gone, guys. Peace.